Coach Les Miles, national champion, winning head coach for LSU. Coach, welcome back to Tuscaloosa. I hope you're doing well, sir.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the big game on the weekend, and just said goodbye to a bunch of trick-or-treaters last night. Yeah, it's been a great week.
I got you. Now, if we knock on Les Miles' door on October the 31st, what do we get? What's the prize?
Well, this last Halloween, Les Miles was sitting in a chair in front of his house, and he had purchased a bunch of candy, and he thought that he was not going to be able to get rid of it, so he was selling it as best he could from the porch. Hey, come on over here, guys. Hey, that is the best Batman outfit that I've seen. This, you get an award. Come on over here. You get 2 handfuls of candy.
Oh, it's a great holiday. I mean, it's fun, and you see all the kids dressed up. I know I drove in last night from the radio show, and my wife's got the porch all decorated. I'm going, you really put a lot of time in this. So it's kind of a fun event.
Yeah, I want you to know, the years I was in coaching, I would come in the back end, the wife would be tired, and there'd be like 1 or 2 pieces of candy left, and I didn't know what the big deal was about. I want you to know, I had a blast.
I got you. Coach, how are you enjoying the podcast? Less is more. How do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I think you're going to get quality football opinions. John Wangler's a quarterback, Rose Bowl winning quarterback at Michigan. My daughter has grown up in every sport that she could possibly play or swim, and she's been raised by 2 coaches. So you're going to get, and then of course me, you're going to get a qualified opinion. It's going to be family, fun, and football. Less is more. And if look at that at the Reddick or any place that you get your podcasts.
I gotcha. And Players Tribune is another great way, but another great way is you can join those hundreds of thousands of fans that follow Coach Les Miles on the Twitter account, Coach Les Miles. Coach, as we go to this LSU and Alabama game, I'd like to start out with Tiger Stadium. You've had a chance to coach in a lot of big environments, but we respect that place because of those fans and the passion they bring. Describe Tiger Stadium to an outsider.
It's impossible. You'll not understand it. I've been in stadiums before. That's what you say. I can remember when I came into Tiger Stadium, I had played in the NFL. I coached at Indianapolis indoor facility, and what other indoor facility during the playoffs? I said that's going to be the loudest. Not close. Absolutely not close. The people of this state are so intimately involved with that football team. The players, the numbers, where he went to school, what he's studying. He's handsome, he's not handsome, but they are in it with the Tigers. And I want you to know, I never coached at a place that was more enjoyable because the people in the stands thought that the Tigers were going to kick somebody's behind, and so did I.
We're talking to Coach Les Miles, and let's start off also with what you see in Alabama's offense with this young superstar hotshot quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay, first of all, I think Tua's going to have a tough day, and here's why. He's a little nicked. Ankle's a little, gimpy. He's going to play. There's nothing wrong with that. But, he's going to play he'll be a little under the weather. He won't be quite as fast. His accuracy not quite as good. And the thing Tua's going to run into is the thing that Jake Fromm ran into when he played LSU. Jake Fromm has looked phenomenal. He's very comfortable in the pocket. And then suddenly he plays LSU, and he can't find a place to throw it. He throws picks. He's completely out of rhythm. That's what's going to happen to Tua. And the reason that's going to happen to Tua is because this LSU on the corner with Greedy and Christian Fulton, they're the best. And you put Delpit back in the middle, and they got a problem. So, and there's not going to be huge windows. The only huge window is the over the top. And certainly they'll try that a couple of times. But understand, Grant Delpit will be in the middle of the field. And as soon as that quarterback turns to throw the ball with the trajectory of height and distance, he's going to turn and run, and there'll be 2 on that ball. So the offense is not going to throw like they have prolifically thrown before. The offense is going to have to run the football. Now, how do you run the football if you allow LSU to play man? Well, you don't, because there's an extra man in the box, and you know what? LSU's got men up there now. So they're going to have a tough time running the ball. Now, what they really have is if Tua can pull it down and go out of the pocket. But, again, I think that injury hurts him. I think LSU's defense beats Alabama's offense.
So you think LSU – Coach, is it fair to say that LSU has not seen a quarterback like this, or do you think Jake Fromm is in the same conversation?
Yes, I've seen it, but you understand, he's going to throw the ball with 18 inches of coverage. You have to throw the ball into a tight window, or you're throwing it over the top. And don't get me wrong, they have some guys that can go over the top and make a 1-in-5 catch. You got it? I mean, it's a 50-50 catch, but it's 1-in-5. It's over the top. It's on his outside. You know, it's a great throw. It's 1-in-5. Okay, they may hit 2 of those. Okay, then what are they going to do? Because they're not going to do it routinely down the field. They're not going to be underneath. They're not going to have that. And so they're going to have to turn to the running game. And you turn to the running game, they have good, big, strong men, but so do we. And if we're allowed to play man, an extra guy in the box, hey, they're not going to run the football. So, again, for me, it comes down to if you just scratch things off, they're going to score some on the deep ball, but it is not going to be enough for them to win the game.
How about on the flip side, Alabama's defense against LSU's offense? How do you see that matchup?
Well, I think that piece is – I think there's also injury on the defensive side. I think the secondary's been nicked the whole year. I think – and I'm not certain, but I'd have to reserve my right to see the starting lineup. But I think there's a linebacker or 2 that's nicked up. And so – they're going to have really good players on defense. I think their secondary is not as good as LSU's. I think their defensive front are very talented. Now, I think we can get a big offensive line, and I think that in zone scheme, which is what we're running mostly, I think that they can get a push. And the one thing about Nick Brissett in this kind of game, he will not miss a cut. I mean, the one thing that he's got is the best eyes of any number of backs I've been around, because if you see him cut inside, it's open. You see him extend the play around the edge, it's open. Clyde Elaire's a bear. As long as he continues to come, I think we'll have runs that can give us first downs. I don't think we're going to run the football against Alabama, but I do believe we will get first downs. I think our quarterback, his ability to run the football different than Tua is really an advantage for us. I think that Alabama wants to do the same thing in the secondary that we do. They want to play man coverage, play an extra guy in the box, stop the run, and then shut them out on the outside. Well, then Joe Burrow pulls it down, and you run that counter, and you let that quarterback run up in there, and he's a big, strong man. I think that he can make some big plays with his feet. I think he can make some big plays with his arm. And I think that guys like Justin Jefferson and D. Anderson and some of these guys are just ready to make a play in Tiger Stadium. That's the one thing about the environment. It will draw out big plays from those young players. Oh, it's going to be fun.
We're talking to Coach Les Miles. Let me ask you about Dave Aranda. Is he the best in this conference as far as defensive coordinator?
He may be the best in the country. He's pretty special. When you sit down with a guy and you talk football with him and you know what you're talking about, you knew immediately that he was several strides in front of the competition. And we were fortunate to get him to come to be a Tiger. And I think he relates to the players from the position of how do you do this? Why do you do this? All those things that make players just, comfortable and I think his teaching style is really, it makes him very capable. So,
Coach, do you think LSU is going to beat Alabama?
I reserve the right to make that call as we get closer to the game. But I'd be checking to see who's playing. I'd be checking to see who's injured. That's what I would be doing. If I felt like both teams showed up with their best players, I'd take the purple and gold.
Okay. Well, and certainly, Coach, you've seen this rivalry take off. I mean, this LSU-Alabama game, in this locker room here in Tuscaloosa, there's many of those players that look at LSU as their number one rivalry, even above Tennessee and Auburn. Is it the same?
Well, they better look at it that way. I'm telling you right now, there's more talent on that LSU team than you can shake a stick at. They're seeing it right if they see it that way.
Is it the same way from LSU perspective? Is Alabama up there with?
Are you kidding me? Alabama's the finest talent in the country. They were 7 consecutive number one nationally ranked recruiting classes. I mean, there may be 7 of the last 8. That's unprecedented. Nick is recruiting so well, and there's some guys on that team right there that I know very well, and I enjoy, and certainly I'm rooting for them to make plays, but I'm still rooting for the Tigers.
Well, Les, thank you, Coach. I really appreciate Les Miles helping us out here in Tuscaloosa. I appreciate you jumping on for a couple of minutes and helping us understand this rivalry from that perspective. Either way, we're going to see a great game inside Tiger Stadium, right?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. It's what college football is all about. Neighbors, people right down the street know you. You're going to play in a big time stadium, big time game. Your team versus their team. Woo!
Well, Coach, thank you again for being a part of the show. I appreciate you spending some time with us here in Tuscaloosa.
My pleasure.